condensation, evolution, combustion. Science is all about processes. Today, we'll break down key words that describe natural and experimental scientific processes. With definitions, examples, and images, let's explore the language of science. Burn as verb. To cause or undergo combustion, resulting in fire or flames. To damage or injure by heat, fire, or exposure to radiation. The campfire burned brightly, casting a warm glow over the surrounding area. He accidentally burned his hand on the hot stove while cooking dinner. She burned the letter in the fireplace, destroying any evidence of its contents. The forest fire burned for several days before firefighters were able to contain it. The intense heat from the sun burned her skin, despite wearing sunscreen. Filter is noun, a device or material used to remove impurities, particles, or unwanted elements from a liquid, gas, or light passing through it. A feature or mechanism used to select or refine information, data, or content according to specific criteria or preferences. The coffee maker includes a built-in filter to strain out coffee grounds and produce a smooth brew. She replaced the air filter in her car to improve engine performance and fuel efficiency. The photographer attached a neutral density filter to the camera lens to control exposure and achieve long exposure effects. Social media platforms use algorithms as filters to determine which content appears on users' feeds based on their preferences and interactions. The search engine's advanced filters allow users to refine their search results by criteria such as date, location, and content type. Contaminate as adjective. Having been made impure by contact or association with a harmful substance or pollutant. Tainted or corrupted by the presence of undesirable elements. Contaminated air quality can lead to respiratory problems for those exposed. The contaminated water supply posed a serious health risk to the residents. The contaminated laboratory samples compromised the accuracy of the experiment results. The contaminated food had to be recalled from stores to prevent illness. The contaminated soil required extensive remediation efforts to restore its quality. Extract as verb. To get or obtain something, often with difficulty or by force. To take or remove something from a larger whole. The dentist will extract the damaged tooth to prevent further decay. The recipe calls for the cook to extract the juice from fresh lemons. She used a pair of tweezers to extract the splinter from her finger. The archaeologist will extract the fossil from the rock using a chisel. The company plans to extract oil from the newly discovered oil field. Circulate as verb. To move continuously or freely within a closed system or area. To spread or distribute widely among people or places. Blood circulates through the body, delivering oxygen and nutrients to cells. Currency circulates among consumers and businesses in the economy. Air circulates throughout the room via the ventilation system. Information circulates rapidly on social media platforms. The rumor began to circulate around the office after the meeting. Dissolve as verb. To bring an end to a formal organization, such as a marriage, contract, or partnership. To cause a solid substance to become incorporated into a liquid and form a solution. The medication is designed to dissolve quickly in water for easier consumption. They decided to dissolve their business partnership due to irreconcilable differences. Stir the sugar in water until it completely dissolves to make a simple syrup. The dissolution of the marriage was finalized in court after months of legal proceedings. The board voted to dissolve the company due to financial insolvency and lack of profitability. Dilute as adjective, having a reduced intensity or potency. Thinned or weakened in concentration, strength, or purity. The dilute scent of roses filled the air as we walked through the garden. After heavy rain, the river became dilute with lower concentrations of pollutants. The dilute solution was safe to use for cleaning delicate surfaces. The dilute version of the medication had fewer side effects but was less effective. The dilute colors of the sunset painted the sky with pastel hues. Cool as adjective, fashionably attractive or impressive, stylish. Moderately cold, neither warm nor very cold. The cool colors of the painting created a serene atmosphere. The movie's special effects were described as cool by the audience. His cool demeanor under pressure earned him praise from his colleagues. The air conditioning made the room pleasantly cool. She wore a cool, breezy dress for the summer picnic. Flow as verb, to move or pass smoothly and continuously in a steady stream or current. To proceed or progress in a natural, unrestricted, or unbroken manner. Ideas flowed freely during the brainstorming session, leading to creative solutions to the problem. Traffic flowed smoothly along the highway, with cars moving at a steady pace. Energy flowed through her body as she danced, expressing herself with fluid movements. The river flowed gently downstream, its waters reflecting the colors of the surrounding landscape. Words flowed from the author's pen as she wrote, effortlessly capturing her thoughts on paper. Cool as noun, a moderate or refreshing state of coldness, calmness, composure, or self-control. He faced the challenge with quiet cool, never losing his temper. Dive into the cool of the swimming pool on a hot summer's day. She maintained her cool despite the tense situation. The cool of the evening brought relief after the hot day. The mountain air provided a welcome cool after the heat of the city. Conduct as verb, to direct or manage the behavior of people or things. To lead or guide a group of people or an organization. The police officer will conduct an investigation into the crime. The manager will conduct the job interviews for the new position. The scientist will conduct a study on the effects of climate change. The musician will conduct the orchestra during the concert. The teacher will conduct the class discussion on the novel. Contract is noun, a formal agreement between two or more parties, especially for the sale, purchase, or exchange of goods or services. A written or spoken agreement, especially one concerning employment, sales, or tenancy, that is intended to be enforceable by law. His employment contract includes health benefits and paid vacation time. They signed a contract to purchase the house. The contract between the two companies outlines the terms of the partnership. The contract states that the tenant must pay rent by the first of each month. The construction company won the contract to build the new stadium. Condense as verb, to make denser or more compact, to reduce the volume or extent of something. When you boil water, it will eventually condense into steam. In the cooler temperatures, the moisture in the air begins to condense into droplets. The lecturer had to condense his hour-long presentation into a 30-minute talk. The author had to condense her 500-page manuscript into a 200-page novel. To make the information easier to understand, we need to condense it into a few key points. Contaminate as verb, to make something impure or unfit for use by introducing harmful substances or pollutants. to pollute or corrupt something by adding undesirable elements. Carelessly discarded chemicals can contaminate the environment and harm ecosystems. Factory runoff contaminated the nearby river, endangering aquatic life. Improper waste disposal practices can contaminate soil and groundwater. The use of pesticides has been known to contaminate fruits and vegetables if not used properly. Cross-contamination in the kitchen can lead to foodborne illnesses. Heat as verb. To cause to become excited, agitated, or impassioned. To intensify or inflame emotions or situations. To make or become hot or warm. To apply heat to something. She heated the soup on the stove until it reached a simmer. The argument between the two friends quickly heated up, leading to a heated exchange of words. The sun heats the Earth's surface, warming the air and creating weather patterns. Adding fuel to the fire only heats the situation further. It's best to let tempers cool before addressing the issue. The coach's motivational speech heated up the team, inspiring them to give their all in the upcoming game. Dilute as verb. To make a liquid thinner or weaker by adding water or another solvent. To weaken the strength, concentration, or purity of something by adding another substance. To avoid skin irritation, dilute essential oils with a carrier oil before applying them topically. The bartender diluted the cocktail with ice to reduce its potency. You can dilute the orange juice with water to make it less acidic. The chemist diluted the concentrated solution with distilled water to make it safer to handle. Adding more broth to the soup will dilute the flavor, so be careful not to add too much. Activate as verb. To make something operational or functional. To set in motion. To initiate or start. Pressing the power button will activate the computer and allow you to begin using it. Adding water to the mixture will activate the chemical reaction required for the experiment. She used her phone to activate the smart home devices, turning on the lights and adjusting the thermostat. Exercise helps to activate muscles and improve overall fitness. The alarm system will automatically activate if any motion is detected after hours. Deplete as adjective. Drained or emptied of a resource or substance. To use up or exhaust a resource, often to the point of depletion or exhaustion. The deplete financial resources forced the company to lay off employees. The deplete soil quality resulted in poor crop yields for the farmers. The deplete oil reserves were a concern for the country's energy security. The deplete fish stocks threatened the livelihoods of local fishermen. The deplete ozone layer is a major environmental issue that requires urgent attention. Synthesize as verb. To combine or blend different elements or components into a coherent whole. To create or produce something by combining different parts or ideas. The engineer was able to synthesize a solution to the complex problem. The artist synthesized different styles to create a unique piece. The writer synthesized various ideas to create a coherent plot. The researcher synthesized data from multiple sources to draw a conclusion. The chemist was able to synthesize a new compound in the lab. Melt as verb. To change from a solid to a liquid state under the influence of heat. To make or become more tender, loving, or sympathetic. Kindness has the power to melt even the coldest of hearts. She watched the butter melt in the hot skillet as she prepared breakfast. The chocolate bar started to melt in her pocket on a warm summer day. His heart began to melt as she smiled at him. The snow began to melt as the temperature rose above freezing. Harness is noun. A set of straps, belts, or ropes that are used to control or secure an animal or vehicle. Equipment or gear that is used to control or direct the power or energy of a machine or system. The engineer designed a harness to secure the cargo during transport. The harness for the rock climber included ropes and carabiners. The dog's harness had a handle for better control during walks. The horse was fitted with a leather harness to pull the wagon. The safety harness prevented the worker from falling off the roof. Generate as verb. To bring about or cause. To produce or create. The new software program can generate complex graphs and charts. The company's new marketing campaign generated a lot of interest. The heat generated by the engine caused the metal to expand. The factory can generate enough pollution to affect the surrounding environment. The wind turbines generate electricity for the entire city. Heat is noun. Intense or extreme pressure, scrutiny, or excitement, especially in competitive or stressful situations. The quality or condition of being hot, high temperature, or warmth. The intense heat of the desert sun made every step a struggle as they trekked through the barren landscape. The heat of the summer sun made it difficult to stay outside for long periods. She could feel the heat radiating from the fireplace, warming the room on a cold winter evening. The athlete thrived under the heat of competition, performing at their best when the stakes were high. The political debate generated considerable heat as candidates clashed over key issues. Rotate as verb. To alternate or interchange in sequence or position. To turn or cause to turn around an axis or center point. The Earth rotates on its axis, causing day and night. It's important to rotate your mattress regularly to prevent sagging. Please rotate the tires on the car to ensure even wear. We rotate the crops in our fields to maintain soil fertility. The interns rotate through different departments to gain experience. Form is noun. A document or sheet with blank spaces for inserting information, typically used for collecting or recording data. The shape, structure, or appearance of something, often considered in terms of its arrangement, configuration, or design. The company's new product design featured a sleek and modern form, reflecting the latest trends in technology. Each student was required to complete a registration form to enroll in the course. The artist sculpted the clay into a beautiful, flowing form that resembled a graceful dancer. The committee reviewed the proposed changes to the application form before finalizing its design. The athlete's impressive physique was the result of hours spent training to build muscle and perfect his form. Experimentation as noun. The act, process, or practice of conducting experiments or systematic investigations in order to discover, explore, or test hypotheses, theories, or new ideas. The systematic and methodical approach to exploring possibilities, alternatives, or innovations in various fields, such as science, technology, art, or business. The chef's culinary experimentation led to the creation of unique and inventive dishes. Artists often engage in experimentation with different mediums and techniques to push the boundaries of their creativity. The success of the company's products is attributed to its culture of experimentation and risk-taking. The laboratory encourages experimentation to foster innovation and discovery. In the field of medicine, experimentation is crucial for developing new treatments and therapies. Rotate as adjective. Able to turn around a central axis. having or constituting circular motion. The Earth has a rotate motion around its axis, causing day and night. The tires on the car had a rotate design for better traction on wet roads. A rotate platform allowed the sculpture to be viewed from every angle. The rotating blades of the wind turbine generate electricity from the wind. The rotating restaurant offered diners panoramic views of the cityscape. Filter as verb. To pass a liquid, gas, or light through a device or material designed to remove impurities, particles, or unwanted elements. To remove unwanted or unnecessary elements from information, data, or content, typically to refine or enhance its quality or relevance. The air purifier filters out dust and allergens, improving the air quality in the room. The photographer used a polarizing filter to reduce glare and enhance color saturation in the landscape photographs. He filtered his search results to display only articles published within the last year, narrowing down the information to recent sources. The email system automatically filters spam messages into a separate folder, preventing them from cluttering the inbox. She filtered the water from the stream before drinking it, using a portable filtration device. Accelerate as verb. To cause to move faster, to increase in speed, to hasten the progress or development of something. The company implemented new strategies to accelerate the production process and meet the growing demand. Regular exercise can help accelerate the metabolism, aiding in weight loss. The government introduced policies to accelerate the growth of the renewable energy sector. She pressed down on the accelerator pedal to accelerate the car as it approached the highway entrance. The new engine design will accelerate the car from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds. Process as noun. A series of actions or steps undertaken to achieve a particular result or outcome. The systematic progression or development of something over time. The manner in which something is produced, created, or accomplished. The method or approach used in carrying out a task or activity. The healing process of a wound involves inflammation, tissue repair, and remodeling. The manufacturing process of automobiles involves assembling various components in a factory setting. The manufacturing process involves several stages, from raw material sourcing to final product assembly. The fermentation process is crucial in the production of beer, wine, and yogurt. Learning a new language is a gradual process that requires consistent practice and exposure. Observation as noun. A remark, comment, or statement based on what is observed, an instance of noting or remarking upon something. The act or process of observing or watching something carefully, often to gain information, insights, or understanding. The detective's keen powers of observation enabled him to solve the mystery and apprehend the culprit. His observation that actions speak louder than words resonated with the audience, prompting reflection on their own behavior. Her observation of the patient's symptoms led to an accurate diagnosis of the rare neurological disorder. The researcher presented her findings and observations at the conference, sparking further discussion and debate. The astronomer made detailed observations of the night sky, recording the movements of celestial bodies. Melt as noun. The process or act of becoming liquefied by heat. The state or condition of being melted or liquefied. The gradual melt of the glacier contributed to rising sea levels. The wax melt formed intricate patterns as it cooled and solidified. The candle's melt pooled at the base as it burned. She noticed the chocolate's gradual melt as it sat in her hand. The ice cream began to soften and melt in the hot sun. Hypothesis as noun. A proposition or assumption made as a basis for further investigation, reasoning, or discussion. An explanation for an observation or phenomenon that is provisionally accepted in order to interpret and predict other observations. She formulated a hypothesis about the cause of the problem. His hypothesis was based on extensive research and experimentation. The scientist's hypothesis was that the new drug would cure the disease. The hypothesis proved to be correct after further testing. The hypothesis was disproven by the results of the study. Cool as verb. Become calmer or less enthusiastic. Make or become less hot. He tried to cool himself by standing in the shade. She took a walk outside to cool off after the argument. The argument eventually cooled as both parties realized the situation. The political tension cooled after diplomatic negotiations. Add ice to cool the drink down quickly. Flow as noun. The continuous movement or passage of something, such as a liquid, gas, or crowd, in a steady stream or current. The smooth and uninterrupted progression or sequence of events, actions, or processes. The dancers' movements had a graceful flow, captivating the audience with their fluidity. The flow of information between departments improved communication and collaboration within the organization. The artist's painting captured the dynamic flow of the river, with swirling patterns and vibrant colors. The flow of traffic through the city streets slowed to a crawl during rush hour. The flow of water from the fountain created a soothing sound in the garden. Freeze as noun. A state or condition of extreme coldness, typically characterized by the solidification or crystallization of liquids or moisture. A temporary suspension or cessation of activity, progress, or movement, often due to external factors or circumstances. The sudden freeze caused the lake to ice over, creating a picturesque scene of frozen water and snow. A computer glitch resulted in a system freeze, causing the entire network to become unresponsive. The weather forecast warned of a hard freeze overnight, advising residents to protect their plants and pipes from damage. The government imposed a freeze on all new construction projects until further notice due to budget constraints. The company announced a salary freeze amid the economic downturn, halting any increases in wages or bonuses for employees. Extract as noun. A concentrated essence or substance derived from a plant, animal, or mineral. A portion or part of something that is taken or removed from the whole. Vanilla extract is commonly used in baking. She used an extract of peppermint oil to relieve her headache. The extract from the novel was published in a literary magazine. The extract of the plant contains a high concentration of antioxidants. The doctor prescribed an extract of echinacea to boost my immune system. Contract as verb. To decrease in size, number, or range, typically as a result of physical compression or economic decline. To enter into a formal and legally binding agreement. The company had to contract its workforce due to financial difficulties. The metal contract as it cools, resulting in a tighter fit. He contracted to provide catering services for the event. They agreed to contract with the construction firm to build their new home. During the winter months, the leather belt tends to contract due to the cold temperatures. Measurement as noun. A dimension or quantity used to describe or compare the size, length, or amount of something. The process of determining the size, length, or amount of something using standard units. The scientist recorded the temperature using precise measurements. The scale provided accurate measurements of weight. The tailor took her measurements to ensure the perfect fit. Accurate measurements are essential for constructing a building. The map provided distance measurements between various landmarks. Freeze as verb. To become solid or rigid as a result of exposure to extreme cold temperatures, often temporarily immobilizing or suspending movement or activity. To lower the temperature of something to below its freezing point, causing it to solidify or become rigid. The image on the screen froze suddenly, indicating a problem with the computer's operating system. The overnight frost caused the ground to freeze, making it difficult to dig. The refrigerator has a feature that allows you to freeze food quickly for long-term storage. The water in the pipes froze during the winter storm, leading to burst pipes and water damage. She decided to freeze the leftover soup for later consumption. Publication as noun. The act or process of producing and distributing printed or digital materials, such as books, newspapers, magazines, or academic journals. The written or printed work itself, made available to the public through various mediums. The newspaper's investigative journalism led to the publication of several groundbreaking articles. The author eagerly awaited the publication of her latest novel. The academic journal accepts submissions for publication from scholars and researchers worldwide. The author eagerly awaited the publication of their debut novel. The publication of the research findings sparked discussions and debates within the scientific community. Contract as adjective. Of a muscle. Become shorter or tighter in order to affect movement of part of the body. Compressed or squeezed, especially forcefully. She felt a sharp, contracting pain in her side. His face was pale, his features contracted in pain. The contract bridge connects two parts of the city. The cold made her skin contract. The cat's pupils contracted in the bright light. Burn as noun. A sensation of intense heat or pain in a part of the body. An injury to the skin or flesh caused by heat, electricity, chemicals, or radiation. She felt a burning sensation in her throat after swallowing the spicy food. The firefighter sustained burns while rescuing people from the burning building. The doctor treated the patient's chemical burns with specialized medication. She suffered a severe burn on her hand when she accidentally touched the hot stove. He applied ointment to soothe the burn from the scalding water. Vaporize as verb. To convert or cause to convert into vapor or gas, typically by applying heat. To disappear or dissipate suddenly, often metaphorically. When heated, the liquid nitrogen vaporizes into a gas. The morning mist began to vaporize as the sun rose higher in the sky. The intense heat from the sun can vaporize water droplets, forming clouds. His anger seemed to vaporize as soon as he heard the explanation. The company used lasers to vaporize unwanted material from the surface of the metal. Evaporate as verb. To change from a liquid state to a vapor or gas, typically due to the effects of heat or evaporation. To disappear or vanish gradually or completely, as if by evaporating. To dissipate or be removed from existence. The sun's rays cause water to evaporate from the surface of lakes and oceans. The company's profits began to evaporate as a result of poor financial management. His hopes for a reconciliation seemed to evaporate when she refused to speak to him. Leave a glass of water out overnight, and it will gradually evaporate, leaving behind a dry residue. In the heat of the desert, sweat evaporates quickly from the skin, helping to cool the body. Evaporate as adjective, describing something that has undergone the process of evaporation, wherein a liquid turns into vapor or gas due to heat or other environmental factors, referring to the state or condition of being dissipated, vanished, or disappeared as if by evaporation. The intense heat caused the evaporate moisture to rise from the desert floor. The evaporate water droplets formed condensation on the window pane. The evaporate scent of rain lingered in the air long after the storm had passed. After the rainfall, the evaporate puddles left behind visible salt deposits on the ground. The evaporate mist hung in the air, creating an ethereal atmosphere in the forest. Analysis as noun. The process of examining something in detail in order to understand it or explain it. The study of the components of a substance or compound to understand its nature or characteristics. The literary analysis of the novel explored its themes and symbolism. The data analysis revealed interesting patterns in consumer behavior. The forensic analysis of the evidence helped solve the crime. Chemical analysis of the water samples detected high levels of contaminants. The economic analysis of the market indicated potential areas for growth. Harness as verb. To control or direct something, such as energy or resources, for a particular purpose or objective. To train or prepare someone or something for a particular purpose or task. The skier harnessed gravity to glide down the mountain. The engineer harnessed the power of the wind to generate electricity. The scientist harnessed the power of technology to cure diseases. The astronaut harnessed the power of the space suit to survive in outer space. The farmer harnessed the horses to plow the field. Form as verb. To establish or bring into existence something such as a relationship, agreement, or organization. To shape, mold, or arrange something into a particular structure, configuration, or pattern. The two companies formed a partnership to collaborate on a new product line. The organization was formed with the goal of promoting environmental conservation and sustainability. The architect formed the building's design, taking inspiration from the surrounding landscape and urban environment. The team formed a circle to discuss their strategy for the upcoming match. She carefully formed the clay into a vase, using her hands to mold and shape it into the desired form. Conduct is noun. The act of directing or controlling the behavior of people or things. The way in which someone behaves or carries themselves. The athlete's conduct during the game was criticized by both fans and commentators. The company has strict policies regarding employee conduct in the workplace. The musician's conduct at the awards ceremony drew criticism from other performers. The school has a code of conduct that outlines the expectations for student behavior. The police officer's conduct during the investigation was called into question by the media. Boil as noun. A painful, red bump on the skin resulting from an infected hair follicle or blocked oil gland. A swollen, inflamed sore filled with pus, typically caused by a bacterial infection. He developed a boil on his neck after accidentally cutting himself while shaving. The doctor prescribed antibiotics to treat the patient's recurring boils. The nurse drained the pus from the boil to relieve the pressure and discomfort. The boil was so painful that she had difficulty moving her arm. She applied a warm compress to the boil to help draw out the pus. Condense as adjective. Made denser or more concentrated. Reduced to a denser or more compact form. The condensed forest provided plenty of shade on hot summer days. The condensed population of the city made it feel bustling and lively. The condensed fog obscured the road, making driving hazardous. The condensed soup was perfect for a quick lunch on a chilly day. She wore condensed layers of clothing to stay warm in the cold weather. Emit as verb. Send out or produce light, heat, sound, gas, odor, or other substances. To issue or release something. The volcano emitted ash and smoke into the air during the eruption. The radio station emitted static interference during the thunderstorm. The exhaust pipe on the car emitted a cloud of smoke. The flower emitted a sweet fragrance that filled the room. The sun emits light and heat into the solar system. Boil as verb. To cook something in boiling water or another liquid. To heat a liquid until it reaches its boiling point and begins to vaporize. It's important to boil eggs for the right amount of time to achieve the desired level of doneness. The chef boiled the potatoes before mashing them. When the temperature dropped, he boiled some soup to warm himself up. The instructions say to boil the pasta for 10 minutes before draining it. She boiled water on the stove to make tea. Replication as noun. The action or process of copying or reproducing something. The repetition or duplication of experimental results to validate findings. The replication of the software program was completed ahead of schedule. The replication of the experiment yielded consistent results. The replication of historical artifacts requires meticulous attention to detail. The artist's replication of the famous painting was almost indistinguishable from the original. DNA replication is a fundamental process in cell division. Level up your English. Master vocabulary, idioms, and phrasal verbs with fun quizzes. Translate meanings into 104 languages. Download now. Link in the description. Please like and subscribe to our channel.